Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose. Coming up in this half hour, rock your house with Yoshi's home theater setup and a transducer. And our next caller needs some help improving the look of his website. We'll give him some tips on that. But nowadays, high-capacity hard drives are getting cheaper and cheaper, and our MP3s, DVD backups, and Martin's picture collection
are have your pictures.
Are filling them out. They're maxing out our hard drives. So Yoshi decided, why not build a 2 terabyte server? 2 terabytes.
Well, yeah, you know, like the 1 terabyte was the big, like, ooh, right. You got the terabyte. You know, you always had the server farms where you had these, like, large RAID arrays, like something like this, where, yeah, you have 15 drives. You can get a terabyte or 2 or 3 pretty easily.
For people that don't know, that's 2,000 gigabytes of storage.
2,000 gigabytes.
That's a ton of storage.
Yeah, a lot.
So you started off here. There's a couple different options you have here.
This, we just wanted to show, like, what was the more traditional way of getting all these drives in the system. You have one of these RAID arrays, and
these are nice.
These are all hot swappable, which is nice. This is actually an empty one.
Right.
But you just pop these drives out, and you can pop them back in. You don't lose any downtime. It stays on. Your data repropagates across the new drive.
What's this going to run me?
About $6 grand with no drives.
I don't want one of these. Never mind I said anything.
So, since the new 400 gig drives came out, we figured,
that's
hey,
a cool case
why not see how much storage we can put inside a regular desktop case.
Look at all these drives. So, give me the rundown here. What are these drives?
These 5 drives are the Hitachi's new 400 gigabyte drives. Then I have another 200 there just to round it out. So, because once it's formatted, it's not quite 2 terabytes. So you had to add that little extra. So we're at that 2 terabyte.
Very cool. Wow.
And basically got all these rated up. So we're reading a RAID array of 1.8 terabytes actually.
Okay. So tell me about the RAID and why did you decide to go RAID?
Well, I wanted RAID because I wanted one big drive. You know, I could have had 5 400 gig drives, but you know, it's all about how big your hard drive is, right?
It's
so
a
you want the
thing,
one,
right?
Yeah, of course. It's a geek thing. You compare, like, oh, I got 2 terabytes. What do you got? You know.
I see what you're doing. Making up for something else.
Well, you know, whatever. I don't drive the monster truck.
So, what is this? You got a nice RAID controller here. Which one? Which
this is Promise sent me their 8-port SX8. It's a Serial 8A RAID 150 card, and basically I can put up to 8 drives on there. I got 5 on there, so I got a little room to grow. I could sacrifice some 5 1/4, and get some more drives up there.
Now, is there any reason to go with? Well, I noticed it's a little different type of slot here.
It's 64-bit.
Okay, it's a 64-bit.
You want the throughput.
PCI slot, right?
You want the throughput because something like this, it's really going to be a server. So you want people accessing, a lot of people accessing these files at the same time. Theoretically, so you want as much throughput as possible.
Could you do it without the 64-bit slot? I mean, most people don't have that on their motherboard.
Yeah, there's some 32-bit RAID controllers, and you can do those. Those are typically going to be like 4-port, so you'll be able to click 4 drives per each one. You can stack a couple and stack them in there.
Very cool.
Of course, if you're going 64-bit, you're going to have to get a 64-bit motherboard. I want the Super Micro.
Yeah.
Which is actually, this particular one is the only one that works with a single P4 chip. All the rest are like dual chip platforms.
Very cool. Now, I know all these drives, I can feel they're really hot. They got to be sucking up a lot of power. I'm sure you had to beef up the power supply, right?
This is a 550 watt, which is about minimum of what I would run for something that big, because you don't want to start it up and it just doesn't want to come on right. And I've had that happen actually a couple times where you have too many drives attached and you go to start it up and you don't see them because they don't give up right. They don't spin up. And
what's the max you could put in here?
800 watts
800
is the highest power supplies out now.
Very cool. Now, how many? Give our users an idea of how many MP3s could you fit on here? Or
well,
DVDs?
if you went with like a 5 meg MP3, which is about average, about 5 megabytes, 615,000.
615,000.
615,000. You could fit about 45 hours of HDTV per drive. So
nice. Can you show it to me what it looks like right here? Show me the actual big drive here.
Well, basically, I got the disk management up here, and you can see over here in my computer the 1.8 terabytes there, which is good fun.
Very cool. And on the right, that's the RAID stripe,
that's the RAID.
right?
So each drive is 400 gigs or 372 once it's formatted, and they're just set up as a dynamic disk array and just formed into one drive letter and one giant disk.
How about performance-wise? How fast are they?
Performance-wise, we benched them against the Raptors and against Maxtor's new drives, the 250 giggers, and they actually, the read speeds on average are a little bit higher. The write speeds are a little slower than like the Raptors or even the Maxtors, but that could be, usually the read speeds, because the density of the platter is so high, that you're getting access to the data really quickly.
Very cool.
So.
Do you get to keep this after you're all done?
No, I do not get to
wish,
keep
huh?
this. Actually, honestly, personally, for myself, with the price of like the 200 gig drives being under $100 and these are over 400,
right.
I'd probably get a lot more 200s than get the 400s for myself.
One terabyte would probably be enough.
1 terabyte would be enough for me.
How much file swapping can you do?
Or I'd just build a whole box dedicated to keeping drives in it and slave it to my master
Very cool.
drive.
Well, thanks, Yoshi. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
If you want to build your own terabyte PC, just like Yoshi did, head on over to thescreensavers.com for all the info.
If you don't get G4 Tech TV, contact your local cable provider.